and we just already have too much value. Hello my friends, it's Johnaroth, and today I'm continuing to build new Final Fantasy Brawl commanders. In this one I'm looking at having a partner set of commanders. So partners are where you have two commanders that you are allowed to pair together and have as two commanders for your deck. It's kind of a rarity, you know, most commanders it's just that one commander. But in this specific instance, you can partner certain commanders together. There are two commanders for this deck, and they are both reskins of older cards that have just come to Arena. But we have Tidus, who is a green and a blue. He's a 1/3, where you can pay 4 mana and scry 1. Look at the top card of your library. If it's a lane card, put onto the battlefield. Otherwise, you draw a card and you see it has the ability of partners. And then our other commander is Clive Rosfield, who is 1 colorless, 1 black, 1 red for a 2/3. And whenever you cast your first spell each turn, choose an opponent at random. Clive deals damage equal to that spell's mana value or planeswalker that the player controls. So Tidus, and again I'm using their Final Fantasy names for this, but it does have the other names down below. Tidus is basically you can scry, draw cards, and put lands on the battlefield. Clive is your enforcer. Basically whatever first spell you cast on your turn or your opponent's, you deal that much damage to your opponent, and I have won several games just with Clive's ability alone. So because we have two commanders that have basically 4 of the 5 colors out here, you can build your deck a couple different ways. You can build it where it's mostly green and blue. You can build it where it's mostly red and black. I've actually kind of taken the best of both worlds where we have all 4 colors. So the mana base is a little bit harder to use. I've got a kind of a breakdown of everything here. Lots of dual lands, you know, shock lands, steam vents, blood crypt, etc., as well as multiple triomes like Xander's Lounge and Zeatora's Proving Ground to get the mana that we need. It really hasn't proven to be a problem in most of the games that I've had because it's pretty balanced. The deck itself has kind of what I call a good stuff type build where you have kind of the best of blue. Blue has counter spells like Mana Drain, Counterspell, Tail's End, etc. Then for some of the red cards, we'll have Ragavan and then Banefire, which can't be countered, Chandra, Torch of Defiance. For, you know, the black spells, we have lots of removal like Bitter Triumph, Feed the Cycle, Shieldred's Edict, etc. There are not a ton of creatures in this deck. It is mostly planeswalkers, so we do have a decent amount of removal like Deadly Cover-Up, Toxic Deluge, etc. And then the planeswalkers I mentioned, Liliana the Veil, Jace the Mind Sculptor, Chandra, Awakened Inferno, etc. So this is just focused on getting the best value of having all 4 colors in this deck, and the first time I've really built a partner deck on Arena. So let's take these partners in crime into the queue and see if friendship truly wins. Let's go! Okay, our very first game is against Aurelia, the Law Above. This hand actually has pretty decent mana. Some good removal here, a lot of removal actually. So I am going to keep this. We'll put down the Windswept Heath. What do we need? We need... I guess I'm going to get the Zeatora's Proving Ground just so that we have the colors that we're going to need. He summons a Moogle Merchant. Target opponent gains control of another target permanent you control. If they do, you draw a card. Now that's interesting. What kind of deck is this? I'm just going to go ahead and cut this down since we have the mana. And our opponent scoops! Very first game, all we had to do was take out a Moogle. And we win. Good game. This game is against the Ninja deck. This hand has a lot of ramp to it, so I'm going to keep it and try this. We're going to go for a breeding pool so we can get out the Birds of Paradise. He has a 1/1 here. We're going to get out a land. We're going to cast Narset. Get us another card. Bitter Triumph, we'll take that. Now he will be able to get out his commander if he uses ninjutsu and attacks us directly. But instead he goes after Narset. He's also eyeing our bird. So we... if we had had a swamp onto the battlefield, we would have been able to get out Liliana, but instead we're going to pass. He could potentially summon his commander here. I'm hoping he does. So we can use Liliana to kill. Instead, he's going to use Thoughtseize on us. The Psychic Frog, which is scary. Gonna put down the Marsh Flats and get a overgrown tomb. Now, we can block the Psychic Frog and then he might pump it up with a couple cards. That is very possible. He would need to discard 2 cards to do enough damage to do this. I am going to put out Clive with the understanding that he'll probably get killed. We'll see. Opponent is going to cast Grief on us. He'll probably get rid of the Languish, more than likely. He could discard both of his cards to kill Clive. He will not have a hand if he does that, which he does. Okay. Put Clive back in the command zone. Alright, so we have the land. We can kill the Psychic Frog. We could, but what's going to happen is on his turn, Grief is going to attack and unkill Narset, more than likely. Or he could ninjutsu Grief back into his hand. I'm going to put down Tidus. And then I'm going to kill off the Psychic Frog. Then I'm going to use Narset because there's really no reason not to at this point. We get Brawl, which we'll keep. He's probably going to ninjutsu in his commander. Draws a land. I'm going to get out Raw, Crackling Wit. We're going to create a Otter as a blocker. And we're just going to hold back here. Going to try to cast Grief. I'm going to Pact of Negation that. He does have a fairy here, so that's kind of scary. But we do have a temporal manipulation, so we're going to get another turn. So this may be where we can kind of shift the tide here a little bit. Oh, I forgot about the... Oh, Pact of Negation. So we're not going to get that. I'm going to use Raw's ability here to draw some cards, because we need desperately. And we did not draw a single land. That is hilarious. I'm going to drop the Sorin and the Mana Drain. We will hold off on anything else right now. Now he can swing in with the Fairy, if he would like. He might have another ninjutsu card. He does. Okay. So he has an ingenious infiltrator. He gets to draw a card, and he draws another card. We're probably going to have to wipe the board here, more than likely. If we can, unless he has a counter spell. We still did not draw a land, which is really unfortunate. I'm going to cast Fatal Push on the Fairy.
Well, gotta work with what's available.
There was no stick there, so I'm going to use Raw's ability to draw some more cards. We need lands. Are you guys seeing this? Like, we still won the game, even though we didn't draw lands like we were supposed to. We had a 40 cards in this, 40 lands in this deck. We do have a board wipe, however, though we can wipe the board, and we also have an extra turn. We also have a bounce spell here, so I am pretty confident we can win this game. We do have enough blockers to kind of stop those ninjas from getting through. But the new Ninja Commander, Yuffie, is so scary. It's a reskin of an old card, but those ninjas, you have to get out some blockers onto the battlefield, and you want to either kill the creatures before Yuffie can get out or have blockers once Yuffie's on the battlefield. So, good game. Next game is against Kaito. We get to go first. This hand is decent as long as we can get the black market connections onto the battlefield. We do have some Planeswalker removal, and turn 1 Ragavan is always huge. I'm going to put down a Prismatic Vista and get a mountain so we can get out Ragavan. Kaito is a pretty good Planeswalker commander. So basically, he is 3 mana. He can create ninjas, draw cards once you've attacked. Okay, so he has a tapped land. I'm going to swing in with Ragavan. We're really going to push our advantage here. I'm going to put down a Breeding Pool, and we're going to get out a Black Market Connections. This is a pretty strong start for our game. I think our opponent's realizing that as well. Opponent's going to kill off Ragavan, perfectly fine. We're going to go for all the modes here. I am going to put down an Overgrown Tomb, and let's get out Clive. I'm hoping we can start casting some spells with Clive on the battlefield, because that will do damage quickly to our opponent. Opponent is going to probably get out a ninja. No, he's going to draw and discard a card. Okay. Interesting. Now he will be able to phase out this turn. It's a passive ability of Kaito, so we won't be able to target him. We have to dial back on the damage that we're taking a little bit here. I'm going to get a treasure token and draw a card. We are going to put down a Verdict Catacombs. And we need a red land here, so we are down to 8. However, we're going to be able to do 6 damage by casting Chandra onto the battlefield.
Let's make this quick.
We're going to start giving our opponent an emblem, and we're going to swing in here. Opponent's already down to 12, now 11. Our opponent's going to have to deal with Chandra. Opponent's going to destroy the creatures on the battlefield. Perfectly fine. Our opponent's going to make a ninja. I'm just going to keep pumping up the damage here. So we're going to do this.
No pressure.
We're going to Fatal Push the token. Then we're going to kill off Kaido with Feed the Cycle. We'll exile 3 cards from our graveyard. And then we're going to get out Tidus, one of our commanders. We are down to 7 life though, so we're going to have to be very careful. But the Chandra's damages are going to start to stack up. They just took 2. We can even do a Pact of Negation if we really want to stop him if he has a kill spell for Chandra or a Time Warp or something like that. Opponent has a Ghostly Pilfer. I'm not too worried about that. Yeah, it's too much. On our turn, we'll be able to ramp up Chandra. We could get our commander. We've just got too much value on the battlefield, and our opponent is just too far behind. Getting that early ramp in the game really kind of highlighted the power of this deck. So, really, really good game. Game is against Urza, super powerful artifact, blue commander. This hand has a Chrome Mox in it, which is huge, and I am going to try this. Will probably be difficult, but we're going to try it. Put down Zeotora's Proving Ground. I'm going to hold the Mox in my hand for the moment. Put down the Swamp. We're then going to put down a Chrome Mox. And I'm going to put underneath the Banefire so we can cast Clive. Next turn I'll probably go for Sorin more than likely. Fortunately our opponent did not cast anything. So I'm not going to cast anything because 2 open blue mana in a mono blue deck, it's going to be a counter spell. Gets out the Reality Chip. I'm going to exile the Reality Chip. We'll deal 4 damage to him. Oh, Black Market Connections. That's pretty good. I am going to get out Sorin, though, to do more damage. And we are going to draw a card.
I take no joy in this slaughter.
We drew a land, which is exactly what we needed.
You wish to know
And we're going to use that to surveil. And we just already have too much value. Even if our opponent on their turn cast their commander. We can then cast Time Warp on our turn, summon a vampire token, deal 5 damage to them with the temporal manipulation. Time Warp, same thing, taking an additional turn, and they're dead. They literally are not going to get another turn after this. So really just kind of highlights the power of Clive in this deck as one of the partners. Good game. Thank you, my friends, so much for watching another one of my videos. This one featuring the 2 Final Fantasy reskin commanders, Tidus and Clive. This was a really fun deck to build, and having 2 partner commanders where you can lean into their different strengths depending on what type of deck you're fighting is very versatile and fun. Getting the best of 4 different colors of the 5 colors is just crucial. And the mana base really is not too difficult to manage if you have lots of Surveil, Triomes, dual colored lands, things of that nature. I would put these commanders at probably about a C tier as far as power level goes. They're not overpowered at all, but this type of build seems to work much better than an all blue and green with some minor red, or vice versa. But you can experiment with a variety of different circumstances for this deck. The deck list is in the description below. Please don't forget to like. Please don't forget to subscribe. Please don't forget to leave a comment below telling me about another commander you'd like me to look into, or your thoughts about the Final Fantasy set, or why you think that coffee should be drank every single day, no matter what. I don't really care as long as I get to interact with you, the Magic community. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. Have a great day.